We got to talk about these NFL team report cards. The NFL Players Association polled the players about the teams they play for and asked these players to essentially grade grade the team they played for in a bunch of different categories. And the Niners finished seventh best out of 32 teams. The Niners are a player-friendly organization, and they want players to want to move to Santa Clara and pay the high property taxes and real estate prices to play out here. So they're doing the best they can. I'm going to go through each category and tell you where the Niners graded, where they ranked, and the comments that were left. First, support of players' families. B+. This is because they have daycare, which is a really nice feature, a really nice service. I'm assuming this is for players and coaches instead of having the wives, or if there is no wife, nothing going on for these kids. It's tough to find daycare when you're not from out here. Team provides it. But they don't provide a family room, which I'm thinking is like during games. There's no place for wives and family of coaches and players to watch together, which is strange because apparently there's A+ post-game gathering area. You figure that could be the same thing. Anyway, the Niners seem like the kind of organization that's going to take feedback and try to improve. So this is interesting. Food. A-. They like the cafeteria. Good food, big cafeteria. I can speak from experience. I've been in that cafeteria. It is big, and the food is phenomenal. And it's not just it's great for every kind of player. If you're a wide receiver who weighs 180 pounds and you want to have 6% body fat, they have a very lean diet for you. If you are 320 pounds and you got to be 320 pounds, they have these freaking cookies that are like 1,000 calories. It's the biggest, fattiest cookie I've ever, delicious. Also, they have like an area where you can a buffet where you can serve yourself, and they have a grill where people will make stuff for you. They're so generous with the food. They actually bring it out to the media room once a week on Wednesdays. It's usually Taco Wednesdays. It's delicious. So I would give it an A- as well. Weight room, A-. So they say they have a nice room and there's enough coaches. The weight room is outside. They built it sort of like in a hangar. It's right next to the practice field. Trent Baalke built that. I want to say that was about 10 years ago. When they first built Levi Stadium, there was no real big weight room. They built one outside. It's Trent Baalke's parting gift to the 49ers. Strength coaches. A. Apparently the Niners feel they all have individualized weight plans, which is great. Training room. We'll get back to that. Training staff. A-. Which is good. It's only 15th overall, which in the league, which tells me that players tend to like trainers because trainers are there to help them and get them back to being healthy. A- for the training staff. And frankly, that training staff takes a lot of flack with the Niners, right? Ben Peterson, maybe it's time to lay off since the players don't agree. Locker room, B+. 91% of players said they have enough space, which is true. 91% of players in the Niners locker room have enough space. If you're on the practice squad, you have to you have a double. You have to share. And so those people might feel a little upset about that. But B+, interesting, because it's a very new locker room. You should have seen the old one. The old one was extremely small back in the Harbaugh days. Travel, A-. No roommates. That sounds great. When I was at UCLA, we had triples, not doubles. So I would have given that an F-. A-. No roommates, enough room on the plane, but not enough first-class options. Who do you think said that? Debo, Kittle, Trent Williams, Nick Bosa. I don't know. Not enough first-class options. Have you ever sat first class? I never have. Okay. Training room. This one's interesting. The lowest grade, C+. Apparently, the players say it's small, it needs more tables, and there's not enough hot and cold tub space. This is by far the lowest grade the Niners got, and it's interesting because the Niners have had injury issues the last decade. They've been in Levi's the last decade. They've been using this training room the last decade. And it's like, why is it small? Everything else about the Niners is abundanza. Great post-game gathering area, great weight room, great cafeteria, great training staff, but not enough room in the rehab area, in the training room. I don't know. I'm thinking, to give them credit, John Lynch and Jed will fix this offseason. But why was it built this way initially 10 years ago? I don't know. Maybe football people think if the training room is too nice, If it's too big, if it's too inviting, the injured players will spend too much time there. And the message we want to get across is get out of here. Get back on the field. This is not where you need to be. It's kind of an old school way of thinking. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's the first thing that popped in my head. And maybe it's time for the 49ers to maybe look at this and say, hey, maybe if our players were more welcome in the training room and it was bigger than a closet, we'd have fewer injuries. On the other hand, maybe the reason the training room feels so small is because the Niners have so many injuries and there's half the teams in there. I don't know. But again, I bet you the Niners address this and make it better because I think the Niners want to finish first on this list. They seem like that means something to them. They finished 7th. That's fantastic. I think they probably want to do even better, which speaks well to them as an organization. But please, more hot and cold tubs.